everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be building a house that's inspired by St. Basil's Cathedral in Russia. And I came up with this build when I was actually doing Spring Sim's new blueprint challenge that he's doing on his channel, which was actually originally done by Deligracy, and it's a really awesome challenge. But I was doing it, and then I was thinking about what I wanted to do, and looking up all these sort of architectural styles and all these famous buildings and stuff like that. And I saw this cathedral, and I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I was able to do that? And I thought that I could use the eggs that we have in the game as those little domes on the top of the building, and so I got all really excited, and I started building a whole load of towers and stuff like that. And then it hit me, I can't go outside the actual, I can't build outside the actual framework blueprint that he's got. So I had to scrap that idea, and unfortunately I couldn't come up with something else in time for the end of that. But I wish everyone good luck who did actually enter in that. But yeah, so this is what I came up with in the end. I haven't been here, unlike some of the other builds which I've done, where I've actually been there, such as the Colosseum and also the Chinese Water Garden. With this one, I haven't actually been there, so instead, because it's quite a complicated building, I didn't want to do it like sort of, you know, object to object and like completely the same. So I did it very much as an inspired by from one of the pictures that I saw, so that I wouldn't get confused. And yeah, I just wanted to take the idea of it and sort of put my own spin on it, rather than doing something which is exactly the same, which is a bit of a headache anyway. There are also quite a few things which I won't be able to do in The Sims, so yeah, that's what I decided to do. But right here, we're doing these sort of decorations that were on the sides of the building, that were made out of sort of red, white, and green sort of bricks and metal and decorations and stuff like that. But actually, I started building this. I did like a little practice run, like I always do. But I started building this, and then soon I'll realise, hang on a second, I was supposed to add in another floor. And I cut it out, but there's like a 10-second gap or so of me just going, ah, crap. and, and thinking, oh no, I'm going to have to start this bit all over again. But it's okay, because I was able to just move it up. The only bit I had to redo, this is the bit, it's about here, where I go, oh no. But I moved up the roof pieces which are on the bottom level, and then I just redid the ones which are on the top, because they were pretty easy to do. So yeah, otherwise the eggs would have been taller than the actual main tower, which wouldn't have worked. But yeah, we're just moving this up now. I wanted to add, like, keep it in. I could have cut it out, but I wanted to keep it in so you could actually see how I made those, but also to see that I'm, actually human and I make mistakes all the time. um, but yeah, it's looking a little bit funny right now, but I think after we put in the domes and we start to put in a few of the smaller details, that's when it really comes together. I think at the moment it doesn't quite look right. But yeah, we're doing a slightly different roof pattern on this smaller tower. I don't know whether you guys have this like wherever you live, but we always had these chocolate bars called Freddos, and I make these green, and I think I thought they looked like little frogs from on the Freddo packets. That's what they remind me of anyway. And when we add everything else, it doesn't actually. They don't look like Freddos anymore. But that's what I thought of when I was making them. I was like, oh crap, am I gonna have to delete this whole bit because it looks too much like Freddo wrappers? I'm sure that a lot of you guys wouldn't have thought of that, but that's immediately what came to my mind, and I wouldn't have wanted to have that. But yeah, they have the domes actually have like a small, like a very very small gold trim on them, as well as sort of the red and the green and the white. So the fact that the eggs actually have the gold at the bottom works really really well. I also want to say, as a warning, I haven't tested it, but it might be that this lot won't place unless you've got move objects on. And I've seen with a couple of builds before which I've done, and it's been, you know, only a couple of objects where I've put them in sort of weird places. And when people have put it into their game, some of the objects have gone missing. And there's a way that you can actually make sure that you know, 100% doesn't happen. And that it's a little bit, you know, a long way around. But if you go into the actual lot itself that you want to place the building on, and you go into build mode, and then you put in the cheat bb dot move objects into the cheat bar, and then you go into the gallery and place the lot, um, then it will always come out right, and it will always come out how I've built it. But otherwise, there could be a couple of objects missing. This little one that I just put in, the red and the blue one, which is the same as the one on top of the tower, that one disappears, but I actually end up putting a egg which is a different colour in there anyway, so don't worry about them matching. It disappears when I put the wallpaper on that tower. But yeah, it was quite, some of the sort of decorations that were on some of the sides of the buildings were quite difficult to replicate in The Sims. They were a lot more detailed and a lot more sort of intricate, but quite a lot of them didn't actually have windows. So trying to incorporate windows into those patterns was quite a tricky task too. Although on some of them, like this tower which I'm doing now with the windows and the triangles, it looked almost identical to that in the actual on the actual building itself. So that was really, really awesome. The what I'm doing here is I'm experimenting with putting down the bricks, because on the actual building itself it has the bricks and the mortar, and they're all the same color. So from far away it looks like the paint which I've put on there, the wall paint. But if you look up close, it's actually brick, like I've got on the white and brick ones. But instead of I didn't think it looked right. It wasn't the right color in the ones that we were given. So in the end, I just kept it as the plain color. I think that with all the details on there already, it was actually too busy once I put the brick detail on there. So I hope you guys don't mind that. But yeah, we're just copying down the same pattern that was on the floor above onto this lower one and putting in some of the windows. Some of this is a little bit repetitive. But we actually, those two towers that are on that floor, which are touching, we actually connect them completely so that you can go up onto that floor. The other ones though, the other floors and towers, they actually have hollow ceilings so that the light from above can come straight down into the building below. I do put in these little mirrors. Yeah, I am putting them in now. I experimented with them earlier, and we put some up here too, as sort of decorations. They had a lot of these sort of things dotted around the building, which I really wanted to put in. And these aren't, you know, identical, but they're quite similar. I think it's sort of coming together now. The interior, if you're wondering ahead of time, is quite eccentric. I use quite a lot of the new Hangout stuff pack, so I'm sorry if you guys are sick of that already. I know a lot of us YouTubers have been using that almost non-stop. I think it's just because it's a really good quality pack. It's got really good quality items, and they have a lot of use out of them, and it's something that possibly is missing in The Sims, or was missing, and so that I think it was actually a really useful pack to release, because I thought it looked really good. So I think that's why a lot of people are using them. But so I used some of that pack in this build, and I also put in some sort of crazy weird stuff, because I figured if you were living in a house like this, you'd have to, you know, have a little bit of an eccentric style, and have it a little bit strange. But so I hope you guys like that. I wasn't sure what to do with the landscaping though. I really struggled with it for a while. I thought I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what would fit. So in the end, I just did sort of a style of garden which I do in a lot of my builds, which is just, you know, overgrown with loads of colour and lots of flowers. But these shields we're putting on the, or wall decorations that we're putting on the windows, actually look really, really lovely on the inside. And there was a lot of sort of intricate patterns within the brick on the walls and in the windows and that kind of thing, and I wanted to replicate that, but I didn't know how. So I'm really glad I came across this, because I think it really looks good, and I think it looks good on the inside too. It kind of reminds me of stained glass in a way, um, but yeah, I think it's really really pretty, and I think it really adds something to this build. Because I actually paused like my recording, and I was playing around for a long time trying to think of what would suit the bottom floor, because I couldn't think of anything. The top floors all were working out fine, and I didn't want to have it plain, because it didn't match. I also didn't want to have it too busy because again, it was too much, and it didn't match. So I'm really glad I came across that because I found the balance. We changed the floor paint in here, or floor tiles. We go with wood in the end. I wanted to put in stone, and I sort of had an idea as to what I wanted the downstairs to be like, but it just wasn't working. I don't think we had the kind of stuff in the game for it. So in the end, we go for something different, which actually I'm glad we did because it comes out better than what I'd imagined. But yeah, I was going to do the kitchen similar to that, but we replace it with some of the darker wood flooring and some of the darker wood for the kitchen here. Some of the items kept going missing and I kept having to put them back. So this is probably an area where some of sort of the decorations that I put onto these cabinets, they might go missing if you don't put this in your game the way that I suggested. But if you don't really if you're not really bothered about those kind of things, then it doesn't really matter. We bring the wall paint, which we had on the outside of the house, inside, and I think actually this sort of pattern goes really, really well with the sort of mad sort of color and patterns. Even though they're sort of textured themselves, it's it somehow balances out the mad patterns that you get from a lot of these objects, but still suits. It doesn't look too modern. I think it works personally. It's possibly because it's worked so well on the outside of the house, and then bringing it inside makes it work better, I think. But yeah, we put in some of these chairs and I changed them. I wanted to have sort of patterns on them to maybe make them sort of suit the hangout stuff pack stuff which I put in, but we just go for plain white in the end. And I actually really like this color combination. I like the contrast between the white and the really really dark wood. I think it looks really nice. And there's sort of a slight sort of shading on the cushions, which I think looks really nice. But yeah, these plant pots disappeared at some point. I think it was when I actually moved the lot over because it was too near to the front, so I moved it back a few tiles, and some of these objects went missing. It was the one on the center uh, cabinets, and then also the sort of collection of plants and books that's on the side too. But this is quite a sort of open plan living space. We've got two bedrooms down here and our bathroom, and we're having like a tiny little study behind the stairs there. And I put in some like a dining room into this space, but I really wanted to have the living room where I'm putting it here. And then after when I wanted to put in the dining table, I either had to put it right in front of the door, which didn't work, or I had to put it sort of in between the living room and the kitchen. And it's a little bit cramped, but I don't think it's too bad. I sort of move things around and make it. I move the center table across, and I think that actually works. I've really enjoyed, especially with these new paintings that we've got. I've really enjoyed layering up loads and loads of pictures and paintings and canvases all together. You might have seen it in my last build as well. I did it in one of the bathrooms. We do it not only in the living room there behind the TV, we also do it in the kids' bedroom. That is going to be the one which is just behind the TV there. We also put in a variety of different lights. I put in these little pink ones and I double them up so we've got extra light coming from them, and we put in some lanterns too, and lots of different things. I had trouble with this build at some point, and I went to Twitter, and a lot of you guys were really, really helpful, but I wasn't able to solve it in the end. But did you know that the hanging baskets, like which were stuck to the wall, the ones in the little cones, the colouring, the lighting engine on them is a bit messed up. So when they're inside, the more light you put on them, the darker they become. So when I lit up the room because I had sort of piled all the walls with all these flowers. And when I then tried to put in sort of lighting so that, at night time the Sims can see, um, they just disappeared and you couldn't see them anymore. And to be honest, they looked like stains of poo on the walls and it looked terrible, like terrible. I went onto the forums to see if it was a problem with my computer or a problem with the game, and also some Sims helped me out on Twitter as well. I think M helped me, but yeah, they went into the game and had a look on their own and to see if they found the same problem, and they did have the same problem, but not as badly as me. But the problem was still there. So possibly there's something with my graphics card, the way that it is that it gets distorted. But they've noted it down anyway. So if you guys are having sort of frustrations with that, then if you hopefully they'll fix it at some point within sort of the next patch. Also, when I moved the lot, these few items that are around this table here, they disappeared and I forgot to put them in. So I'm sorry about that, but they won't be in there even if you do the move objects cheat. We put a little bathroom in here. I've realised in quite a lot of my most recent builds, my bathrooms have been such weird shapes and really, really, really difficult to furnish, and having to put showers in with sort of diagonal gaps behind them, especially this one up here that I do here. I try and sort of close the bathroom off to make it a nicer shape, but it cuts into the windows. So in the end, I just leave it. I think that I always neglect bathrooms. I've been really, really trying for you guys, and I think I'm getting better at them when I actually put effort into them. But I still need a lot of work when it comes to bathrooms. I think it's because I don't really use them. It's like I don't even click to make the Sims go to the toilet. I just click the needs. Like if they need a shower, I just click the hygiene button, and if they need the toilet, I just click the bladder button. I don't even try and find the toilet and make them go there. So I think because I don't even use, I guess, the bathrooms when I'm in the game, apart from if I need to, do the like have a inspiring shower or something like that, or to cool off from being angry, or to have a pregnancy test. I don't actually sort of interact with any of the bathroom objects because I just make the Sims do it automatically. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Like I said though, I'm trying to get better at it. We Is this the master bedroom? Yeah, in this one, this is where I try and put the hanging baskets on the wall. I show you some of it because it might be that you can put this in later if you don't mind them looking really, really dark and sort of copy what I've done. But I just wanted to show you how sort of dark and dingy they look. And I thought it was something like I didn't have enough light on them, so I put something like 20 lights above them, and I'm experimenting with these hidden object lights, the ones that you can't see when you're actually in gameplay. And I was sort of playing around with them, and I just couldn't get it to work. I put 20 lights above um, one of these hanging baskets, and they just looked like poo stains. They didn't look like anything nice at all. But yeah, so I do the rest of the bedroom, and then I go back and I delete them. But I think it was a nice thought. Maybe if they fix it, I can put it in another build. But for now, there's not going to be any hanging baskets in this room. I hope it doesn't make it plain as well. I wanted it to be quite sort of cluttered and overdone. So I hope that it still looks alright. I think at least some of the room looks nice. And we put an easel in here. And do we put a carpet in? Because the floor is quite busy. I don't think we do. We do put in some canvases with some paintings on. I thought that went really well with this build. I really love the canvas, the second lot of canvases that I put down. I think the paintings on there look beautiful. I wish that we could actually have those as paintings, which we could put up on the wall. That would be really, really lovely. But yeah, I think, did I start deleting them? No, we're going on to the kids' bedroom. I did something with this bedroom where I put the bed into the seating area that I've got there. I thought that actually looked really cool. Like the top of the bed was all sort of covered in pillows and stuff like that, and they can get in it and they can sleep in it fine. There's no problem with it. So it's actually really awesome that that works. And I might try and do it with maybe some other sofas as well, see if that works, because I think this looks really cool. It must sort of count as a. I don't know if they can sit on the sofa though. I wonder. But maybe it would be quite a good idea to have that as sort of a spare room sort of thing and make it look like it was a sofa bed, like in an office or something like that, or a room that was converted from an office. Feel free to use that in your builds if you want. I think it's quite a cool idea. But yeah, we're doing sort of a little study nook over here for where the kid might do their homework and stuff. This room is a little bit girly because it's quite pink, but I don't know. I think in such a crazy house like this, you could do it being a boy sim. In the screenshots, my child sim was a boy. But we went into the gallery and we picked up a whole load of the paintings that were already made. And I decided to cram up this wall in there because I thought that an artistic sim might might live in that room. And I thought it was a good way to sort of find new paintings and new interests that would be on a wall. And I just thought it really fit with this room. But I'm going to start doing that a lot more, where I'm getting some of the paintings from the gallery, or ones that Sims have actually created, because some of them are really, really nice. And also, it's something I struggle with. I think that trying to find good paintings or paintings that fit with what you've got going on can sometimes be really, really difficult, because not everything that they've got as a normal painting actually fits. So yeah, that's my thought behind it. This one isn't, say, colourful. It's not that kind of sort of weird and eccentric, but I think it is quite a strange room, having this massive, massive clock in the middle of the room, and having sort of the old timely furniture and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. Sometimes I just like to, especially in a build like this where everything's a little bit mad and everything's a bit experimental, I really like just doing sort of weird themes and seeing if something works. It might not be to your taste, but feel free to change it. It would not be difficult at all to change it. I think quite often when you're doing home builds, you can't cater for every sim that's going to move in there, but it might give you some inspiration as to what kind of sims you want to make and which ones you want to put into this house. If you do use this house and you make some sims which you think will go really well in it, and if you're using it, send me pictures on Twitter, because I love to see that. I love to see my builds being used by you guys. I think it's really amazing to see that. I've seen it recently. I think Rory's plays The Sims and also virtually both used my Mad Hatter's Tea Party build and used that in their game, and it was so amazing. It was so lovely to see my build being used by by you guys. It was really awesome. It made me really, really happy. So if you guys could send me pictures of my builds being used in your games, I'd be over the moon, and I'd retweet them, and I'd be really happy. This is me trying to move around this dining room table, trying to get a good spot for them. Possibly I could have done a better job with how I did the layout, but I kind of like it actually. I don't think it's too bad. But yeah, this is me going around and deleting all those flower pots, because because I don't like how they look. I then experiment with doing sort of these other ones, but the colouring still wasn't that great with them, so I just put it all down in the end and leave it clear. But what you could do is, because this has got an easel in there, what you could do is you could put up on the walls all the paintings that you create up there. And that would be quite cool too. So in the end, I want to add some sort of interest to this room, some sort of lighting. So I put in a whole load of these little paper lanterns up in the top, going down. My mum actually has a whole load of these that she brings out at Christmas time. She also has ones in similar shapes which she made out of, or did she make them or did we buy them? I don't know, but they're made out of sort of straw, and there's ones which are like Father Christmases, and there's also stars and Christmas trees and things like that. It always reminds me of that, and they kind of remind me of Christmas a little bit because of that, but I know that they're not supposed to be. Are we going on to landscaping? Yeah. Like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing. So in the end, I was like, okay, well, I need to finish this build because it's been sitting in my on my computer for ages without being uploaded, and I need to sort of release a build soon. So I just thought I would do the garden. I think it looks pretty. It's not something, I guess, unique or something you haven't seen before on my channel, but I think it does look nice, and it does sort of fit with what's going on. What I do try and do is I don't fill the garden all the way to the edge of the lot, so you've still got a little bit of space, like sort of pockets of grass that you could use things, or sort of, you know, cater to your own needs. If you want to put like a jungle gym or something in there, you probably have enough space if you move maybe a couple of plants out of the way. But yeah, I also cut out quite a lot of this footage because when I was playing, I think I was listening to Beyonce and also Panic at the Disco's new album, which is really really good, by the way. And I I was dancing to it and singing to it, and there's like massive gaps in this recording where I was dancing and not actually building, so I had to cut out all those bits, and it was such a pain, like having every few seconds to cut out a massive chunk where I was dancing my life away. But so I cut those out, so I'm sorry that, you know, this bit of the footage is going to be a little bit choppy because of that. And yeah, do you guys do that? Do you guys dance around when you're playing The Sims, or at least building, or watch like do you guys watch podcasts or something like that? Let me know in the comments what you do while you're building and listening. Sometimes I do actually just like listening to the in-game music. I think it's really really cool. Sometimes I also put on The Sims 2 or The Sims 1 music as sort of nostalgia. Make it imagining me being, you know, a little kid again and playing on The Sims. But yeah. So as you can see here, there's little gaps. I thought about making, like, I practice and put like a massive pond in the front here, that I was going to do like a natural pool with rocks around the outside and that kind of thing. But it just wasn't looking right, and it looked strange, and so I did these sort of, I thought they could be small little hot springs or something. If you don't like them, obviously, like everything else, just delete it. But I thought it was quite a cool little thing and added a little bit of interest at the beginning of the build. But we're getting to the end now. I don't think there's much more that I do. Off camera, I put in a couple of lights so that the globe things light up when it's nighttime, and then I finish off these little plants and stuff like that. I might put in a couple of objects which disappeared, which were from the inside. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, hopefully see you again soon.
nothing that I